Andrew has requested me on Patreon to review The Devil Wears Prada. This movie I did see in theaters back in 2006. I remember not caring for it much, largely because the fashion industry is a subject matter I have pretty much no interest in. The whole concept of designing expensive clothes that few people can afford to buy and wear is one that has long been foreign to me. Honestly, just give me a polo shirt or hoodie along with trousers with pockets on the side and I'm good. However, I had not seen this movie since that initial theatrical viewing, so I was curious if my opinion would change several years later. And it did, slightly, but The Devil Wears Prada is still not quite my cup of tea. Watching it again, it was less so the subject matter, more so the main character that underwhelmed me. Andy is sympathetic enough, and Anne Hathaway does a good job of playing her. She navigates this job and deals with the demands of her boss, Miranda Priestly. I just don't think she's that interesting of a character, and that makes it a little difficult to get invested in the story. Meryl Streep does a decent job of playing Miranda and portraying her as someone you immediately dislike for the way she treats Andy. The movie was based on a book by Lauren Weisberger, who based Miranda on Anna Wintour, her former boss at Vogue magazine. However, Streep chose to make the character her own rather than try and imitate Wintour, which I think was a smart choice. There is a point later in the movie where they try to make you sympathetic towards Miranda Priestly, but I don't think it feels earned, as she has not done anything beforehand to earn our sympathy. I think the high point of the film is absolutely Emily Blunt as Miranda's first assistant, who also happens to be named Emily. Like many people, this was the first thing I saw her in, and she immediately made an impression. She took a character that could have easily been portrayed as a one-note snooty archetype and helped give her some layers and dimension. Unlike with Miranda, Emily does become sympathetic later, and I did feel genuinely bad for her when events spiral for her. Blunt depicts her as someone who genuinely loves this world, and the growing friendship that slowly develops between Emily and Andy is well done. She also gets the funniest lines in the movie, a few of which were even improvised by Blunt herself. It's no surprise this role put her on the map, and she has become an actress I always greatly enjoy seeing on the screen, whether giving a comedic, musical, or dramatic performance. I also have to compliment Stanley Tucci, who plays one of Andy's guides through the fashion world. He provides a solid supporting turn and serves an important role in the story in helping Andy handle the fashion industry. Something that bothered me about the movie is one that's apparently controversial, even among its fans, and that's her boyfriend, Nate. Some think he was right to be concerned and for calling Andy out for how she's affected by her current job, while others find him whiny and feel he should be more supportive of her. And I absolutely agree with the latter group. As I've said in previous videos of mine, I'm not a fan of the plot device of the main character who works hard to earn a living while their children or significant other complain they're not spending enough time with them. The Devil Wears Prada does that too, but in a slightly different way, because Nate knows how demanding Miranda Priestly is and the pressure she puts Andy under, and still complains when she arrives home later. He should be more sympathetic towards his girlfriend, especially since he's a chef. Last I checked, chefs have demanding hours too. There's even a part in the movie where Andy chooses not to meet someone who could potentially help her career just so she can arrive home for his birthday. An especially bothersome scene is when Nate tells Andy how much she has changed since she started working at the fashion magazine. But she has not changed that much. She dresses differently and gains more understanding for how the fashion industry works than when she started, but personality-wise, Andy remains the same person. She does not become snooty or mean or develops an eating disorder like Emily does, but Nate suddenly treats Andy horribly, especially since it's repeatedly mentioned that she will only be in the job for 1 year. I also have mixed feelings about the movie's supposed message. There's a point in the movie where Tucci's character tells Andy to suck it up and that she should not expect to be complimented every time she completes a task. But there's a difference between not constantly showering praise on an employee and just hurling insults and creating almost impossible, ridiculous demands for them like Miranda does throughout the film. She may be a successful publisher, but that does not excuse doing several of the things she's done. Nowadays, we're seeing more people in high positions getting reprimanded when their abusive actions towards employees are revealed. Hollywood producer Scott Rudin is a notable recent example. Much like Anna Wintour inspired Miranda Priestly, Rudin was said to have inspired the abusive studio executive in the movie Swimming with Sharks. The ending of The Devil Wears Prada seems to suggest that Miranda's behavior towards Andy helped her get the career she wanted, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Overall, The Devil Wears Prada is watchable enough, but is mainly elevated by the actors. As someone who is as uninterested in fashion as you can get, it was not able to generate further admiration towards that industry or its importance in everyday life, and Andy never develops into someone I was that interested in following. I was strangely more intrigued by Emily and her journey and the way she works herself to the bone to please someone with ridiculous standards. Anyway, if you've seen The Devil Wears Prada, let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for the request, Andrew.